start off for today. Please welcome Mr. Homam from Wonderland Technologies.
Hello, good morning everyone. So my name is Homam from Wonderland Technologies. So Wonderland Technologies is a Malaysian company. So we like to call ourselves a sci-fi solutions provider. So we try to bring the technology fantasies we see in sci-fi movies to our everyday showrooms, museums, and galleries and retail. We started with the interactive screen inspired by Minority Report, and then hologram display like in Iron Man and Star Wars, and now we come with an AI solution which I will present to you shortly. So we notice not much has been done in the concierge experience or in the information counter, so we thought how we can improve this experience. So we introduced to you Alice. Alice is a hologram robot. She's powered by artificial intelligence, and it has an ultrasound sensor, so it can sense when you are approaching her. With the microphone and voice recognition, she can understand what you are asking, and then she can communicate back to you by voice. And from all these people questions, we can gather this data, gather these inquiries, and generate reports, which can be useful for the, let's say, for the shopping mall management or for a hospital. I will demo to you a short demo of. Yes. I think you can't hear the voice. When I ask her the question, she's answering back. There's a YouTube. Maybe now use the volume.
About patient expenses.
So you can see
How
the lip
else
sync.
can I assist you?
My wife going to deliver next month. Can I use HA?
Yes. Parents with MADISAVE accounts can use their MADISAVE for delivery overseas. However, the expectant couple must be referred to the overseas hospital by a MADISAVE accredited referral center in Singapore prior to delivery. How else can I assist you?
Where is the ATM machine?
You can put visuals, video, maps, images. I think we can
Please
go to
refer
this
to
one.
map or directions.
Okay, so according to Global Market Insight, the market size for the service robots is going to be about 52 billion by the year 2024. And the sectors which can benefit, as I said, hospitals, airports, hotels, shopping malls, museums, and others. The revenue model will come from three places. So we planning to sell those robots or rent them for a monthly fee, and also from customization. So if they want to customize the look of the character or the clothes or things like that, we can do that. For competition, there are some competition. There are, for example, Kony from IBM. But this sort of robots, they have some issues, like especially with battery life, and you cannot customize the look, and you cannot show any multimedia or video or content. There are something like hologram from Ricoh, but they use a video rendered, so it's a recorded video. So let's say if you want to add some more information, you cannot just go to content management system and update that. Okay, so now we have a working prototype that supports English. We are we are working on improving the character, make her, let's say, more friendly or different avatars. Also support Bahasa Malayu and Chinese language and then commercialization. This is the team. We are a very small company. You can contact us through these contacts. And thank you.
Very nice. I'll kick this off. All right. So what you're doing is kind of similar line to what I'm doing right now. We also do chatbots. We're not like super awesome like you with the holograms and with voice. We're all text. So one of the biggest challenges I have been having is to demonstrate the use case. So one. Number two is fast ROI. Right. So how do you see what is the biggest use case that you think that this one can solve? What's the biggest problem? Right, it's cool, but what's the biggest problem? And how fast is to get the ROI for the person who does this?
Okay, I think you are absolutely right. There is no real problem, but there are actually this project was a client request, so it was not my idea, but it was the client idea. The client want to make their hospital is like the first hospital adopting AI, adopting technology. So we're looking for those sort of clients. Because we started with the chatbot, but okay, everybody using it online, like on Messenger or on the live chat, but we thought how we can bring this technology which we already have to like the concierge or to other sectors. So we the client and us, we thought about the concierge case, but it can go more beyond answering questions. And the other thing I want to mention, because you can gather this data. So now when you have a human concierge, you have the limitation of time, of how many languages they can speak, and there's not much reports you or information you can gather from the human. But all these inquiries, we have recorded them, so we can know like many people asking where is the toilet, so maybe the signboard of the toilet or the location is not very suitable, let's say in your shopping mall, so you have to think about that. And the ROI, yeah, we're still figuring it out. As I said, I think if we rent it to them, not only sell it, so if let's say I don't know how much their budget for monthly, or let's say the concierge, we can cut that for them. Plus they have a staff who speak multiple languages, because let's say in airport, if you want someone to speak 3-4 languages, I think they are not cheap. So if let's say we're just putting this number, if I tell you you have this maybe to assist your current concierge, let's say for 2 months, 2,000 ringgit a month, then you don't need to worry about insurance or EPF or other human or the leaves, or maybe it's a good deal. I'm not sure, but we are trying to figure this out.
Does your AI have contextual conversation?
Yes. So let's say if you ask a question and then a follow-up question, she will understand. Like we have a video, I can show it to you. If you ask, okay, because this is for the hospital, so they have this in Singapore, this program called MediSave. So if you ask what is MediSave, and then she answers you, then if you just say, can I use it for my wife? So it understands what do you mean by it is the MediSave program. Yeah.
So then with that technology, I mean, how do you differentiate yourself from the existing AIs like devices like Google Home or Amazon Alexa?
Well, they are more for consumer. I'm more for business. We are more B2B, not to consumer.
But on that question, B2B is your business model, right? When you are B2B, you see. So eventually the business who bought from you, they are still using it for their customers.
Yes. But what you mentioned, like Alexa and the Google Home,
yes,
you are selling it to the consumer. So let's say the sort of question it answered is different from this, because
yes. So that's what we're curious is that even with that, if you consider them more for end users, more for consumers, they can't do proper contextual conversation.
Well, the conversation is going to be about your product or your company or your museum. It's about you. So We gather your FAQ and we put it there.
Yes, but contextual, or put it in a more broader sense, is more like in AI, okay? Cognitive kind of understanding is that it's not about how much training data that you feed. Is, for example, the question that you say, right? Eat. How does the AI resolve eat? So let's say you ask Siri, what time is it? It is able to tell you. But if you ask them 3 times or 10 times what time is it, it will still tell you the same answers. Yeah, so there's no emotion, there's no context per se. Yeah, so whether it is the way that you answer more B2B is more like, okay, fine, we're just going to train within the information of your company rather than the whole Wikipedia, for example.
Yes, this is what we do.
Yeah. But to have a contextual conversation, so let's say we ask 3 questions, right? Where is it? When is my wife going to be delivered? But then you ask something that is related to the first question. In most cases, I doubt that the AI or the chatbot will be able to understand it.
Well, to be honest with you, it does not always understand. So sometimes it will ask you rephrase your question, or there are still some bugs in the flow.
No, it's okay. It's not your fault. It's data scientist.
But people need to understand they're talking at the end to the robot, not to a real human. So
okay, so that goes back to your previous question, is because you're having issues looking for your ROI, for example, right? And I mean, all of us, scientists, business people, evangelists, we're still looking for ways like when is the right time that AI replace human in such a way, in service?
Well, eventually AI will replace humans, because if you look how the history, when people used to work in agriculture, they moved to industry, and then they moved to services, and then when AI will replace all the jobs in services and even in creativity. So
I would think it's all because AI is going to replace repetitive work. So
not only repetitive work. Actually, I'm not sure if it is relative, but even now creativity. Now AI can write movie, can write music, can draw a drawing. You know, the first AI drawing sold for $500,000. So now AI doing creative stuff as well. Because everything, even a movie or a story, there's a formula on how to write that. So AI can just generate for you endless ones.
Okay, the important piece about a piece of drawing, right, is the value of a piece of drawing comes in the sentiments and the emotion of the songs and all the cultural elements inside the song. So that's why a lot of artists didn't make money until they died. Right? So everyone would agree with that. So the reason why AI is able to replicate a so-called very nice artistic drawing is because you have given the AI enough training examples of, let's say, Da Vinci or Van Gogh drawing. So it's able to, based on the existing data, to draw something nice for you that they say, okay, this is going to sell for X amount of price because Da Vinci does that. But if you are going to use AI to predict a drawing that, you say, like 10, 20 years later, or say ask AI to play basketball with you, then without that set training data, how is AI going to do that?
Well, the food of AI is data, and with all our mobile phone and sensors and IoT and all this data and the government data, the AI has information than any human would ever have. So they will replace doctors because they have all diseases, all your history record, all your family history record. So they can diagnose any disease better than any human doctor. And plus, they are not in a bad mood today. They didn't fight with their wife and this kind of thing. So I'm not sure if I answered that.
Yeah. Okay. So you know what? For me, doesn't really matter about the art stuff, right? Or all the stuff. Whether it's the businesses want to buy it or not, right? So what government is gonna handle. And about the context, I get that it's already happening. So for you, how long does it take for a company to say yes, I want to do it, and then deploy it, and then train and stuff like that? How long does it take?
For this solution.
Yeah, because I understand it's just, so, let's say for
So
the,
basically
the
we
hospital is just about the hospital, right? But there's a lot of stuff that you need to teach it about the hospital.
Okay.
How long would that training take?
I think it will take about a month. So we will get your FAQ, and then let's say if you want to do directory, because it's also support directory, we'll get the directory, and then we need to do this FAQ and do some test on the question until we get it right. Because sometimes the voice recognition also is not very accurate. For example, in the hospital, if you say ICU unit, sometimes it get it as ICU. It's not like the three letters.
There's this training, right? Okay. And the pricing point, is it fixed? Is it because of your cost, or is it because you just want to price it that way?
Well, there's hardware cost, and hardware always expensive. It's not like we're selling a software or a software robot. So most of the cost is for the hardware. So that's why we have that price. But I'm working on bringing the price down, so to make a hybrid solution between an interactive screen or information kiosk plus this hologram robot. So you have an information kiosk plus you can talk to the information kiosk, and the kiosk will talk back to you.
What are your strategies to make yourself more visible? Because I think this technology is quite attractive for some of the companies in Malaysia. What are your strategies?
Well, now a few months ago we just had the prototype, so we are going to the speech sessions. We are planning to go for exhibitions as well, and and we're using social media. So I think if you saw that China has the first news anchor using AI, hologram and AI. So we're planning to do something similar to that, to maybe propose to Astro or Media Prima to let them use it as a news anchor.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Homam. So